It is without a doubt one of the strangest stories you will ever hear on this channel. At a time when the Secret Service should be protecting the political candidates and their families in the month of October, when we will have perhaps the most heated election run-up that we have ever seen, the Secret Service agents will instead be swarming Walt Disney World, and for reasons you might struggle, truly, to believe. Hello folks, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, the place that continues to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and we dive into stories that you would not hear anywhere else, such is the case today as we have one of the most bizarre tales that I think we will ever tell here on the channel. And, well, it is perfect then that we have LW Ghost with us. Mr. Ghost, welcome back for a weird one.
When you say that, I say it's like hold my beer to these people to hold that in front of them. Well, come on,
they've been challenged. They've been challenged. All right, folks, we're going to be talking about the Disney World Resort because that is our forte, and this is very strange, but the Secret Service is going to be swarming Disney World. We're telling the truth on that, on the thumbnail and on the title and all of that. The reason, not what you would anticipate. Like, really, really not what you would anticipate. We'll get into it, folks, as we do. Click the like button. This is out of the Washington Times. It says, Secret Service seeks attendees for a, well, LGBTQIA plus negative greater sign summit at Disney World as campaign season heats up. The Secret Service failed to protect a political candidate. And folks, we won't get into the politics of it, but the embattled agency will be taxed to the limit going forward as we're in the midst of a presidential campaign season where there is the threat of huge catastrophe. And so you would think that every single Secret Service agent is needed to be available to help, to do all that they can do. But instead, it will be well represented at an LGBTQ summit at Disney World. Reporter Susan Crabtree of Real Clear Politics posted Wednesday on social media an agency-wide email from the service's DEI office that solicited people to attend the Out and Equal Workplace Summit at the Orlando, Florida theme park. And it just so happens...
Wait. You sure it's not the In and Out and Equal?
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
We're already there, folks. It's already went very blue or other colors. But
no,
here is the...
I was thinking of the cartoon, not the activity.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
we're still PG, folks. Nobody, those who are of a younger age have no idea what we're discussing, and you should not explain it. We do, though, have the original reporting here. It's from Susan Crabtree, and it says, this is amazing, Lou. Exclusive, the Secret Service's Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion today, at 11:09 a.m. Eastern, sent out an agency-wide request for nominees to attend an all-expense-paid trip to said workplace summit at Disney World in Orlando, October 7th through the 10th. So, again, Secret Service agents are being requested by the Secret Service during the height of the political campaign in perhaps the most volatile election I have ever seen, where someone has already almost been deleted. They're being requested to not attend those things and protect the people we need them to be protecting, but rather get on down here to a rainbow coalition. The call for nominees to attend the conference, which includes leadership plenary sessions, a night out at Disney Studios, and a gala event the final night, is rankling many rank-and-file special agents and uniform division officers. A large number of Secret Service employees are working so hard, many 7-day work weeks with no time off, that they've already hit their supermax limit for overtime pay, meaning they can no longer receive overtime for their work. So that's no good. But instead, if you are identifying in this particular way, well, you can go to these sorts of things. The email also comes less than a week after the Secret Service announced that its employees are so overworked by the security requirements that the U.S. military is being called on to supplement Secret Service personnel. So at this kind of a time, Lou, they're going to be going to Disney World instead. And here's the leaked image. We won't show or read too much of it, but Lou, your thoughts on Disney World hosting this? And I guess we can bring this up on the screen. Let me see if I've got it. I do. This is the 2024 Out and Equal Workplace Summit Illuminate down in Orlando, Florida. We'll talk about it in just a moment. But Lou, your thoughts on the idea that at this point in time, Secret Service agents are being requested to leave their positions and go down and do a LGBTQ summit at Disney World. Your thoughts on that?
Well, the first practical thing that comes to mind, as a workplace benefit, is this a way of getting around that limit on overtime? And are they going to be taxed on this trip?
Lou, that is actually in some of the reporting that is suggested that there is a double incentive to do this. Not
Yeah.
only do you get to be out of harm's way and doing the very difficult work that the Secret Service does, but also if you are past that supermax limit and you're no longer working for money, this actually apparently will get you around that. So that's a
You mean it's money for nothing and the mouse for free?
I think so. That's the way we do it.
Oh, God.
A song is playing through my head right now.
You
Money
see,
for nothing.
you can't help it. These things just, music is my life. What can I say?
Is it not, though? I mean, this is shocking. Lou, this is shocking this is like out of a cartoon. This is ridiculous.
What gets me is, of all the times of the year to do it, did somebody schedule this not realizing there was an election? And then election is the Secret Service's busy season,
Well, can you not imagine? I mean, the optics of this are terrible. The Secret Service, after having failed dramatically, and then having, I guess they're so scrapped that they don't have enough agents, they're going to be sending folks down to Disney for a celebration of all these things. Let me read what this is for people who don't understand. This is the largest LGBTQ IA plus summit in the world. Okay. And it's going to be at Disney World. And Disney is a very proud sponsor of this, of course. It says 2024 Out and Equal Workplace Summit Illuminate, October 7th through 10th at Orlando, Florida. Here's what it says. This is out of outandequal.org, the site that is owned by this group. It says, Lou, you're going to love these platitudes. Get ready. All right, folks, here we go. We are in a moment when the voices and actions of a few are attempting to dim the light and progress of an entire movement. Now, remember, Disney is hosting this. Disney wanted to host this. And while it may seem overwhelming, we must remember our potential, our strength, and our value. In times of adversity, doubt, and challenge, queer joy and resilience will always outshine and persevere. Insertion here real quick, folks. We are not here to tell you how to live your life. We're not here to bestow upon you what morals you should have or ethics you should have. Not taking any kind of position other than just that, well, this doesn't seem to be the kind of thing that service members, Secret Service members, maybe should be attending in October. It's not the right kind of October surprise. And maybe Disney, this is a bad look for them as well if the Secret Service is flooding the gates of Disney instead of flooding the gates of rallies and protecting those very important political figures. Continuing on, it says, each one of us possesses this light inside of us, which then nurture. Well, I don't think that I do, Lou. I don't identify in that way. Which then nurtured and joined by others magnifies to become brighter. Together we form a searchlight and beacon for ourselves and others. Flickers become flames. An opportunity for a brighter future outshines current realities of scarcity and isolation. We are a haven where individuals can discover and connect with others, feel safe within those spaces, and thrive. Our light is a source of hope, inspiration, and truth in a time that seems overwhelmingly bleak. This reads to me like a cult, Lou. It's quasi-religious language.
It's not as good.
Yeah, it's not as deep.
Cult.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, look. I don't know about this organization. I don't know how many of these they've had in the past. But don't you get the feeling that if you saw the ad for the one last year or 2 years ago or 5 years ago or however long they've had them, these are just. It would be the same. It would be exactly the same. There's nothing in here that says this is a particular moment other than them saying it. I mean, there's no validation of that. I find interesting that the word workplace is in the title, as if that is intended for people from whatever employer to be the sting breaker on the taxing issue. Well, it was a work event. Well, it was an enrichment convention for my job, so of course it's write-offable on my taxes. Honest. Yes, the Dole Whip too.
As well as the Dole Whip. Lou,
Because
your
it's
thoughts though
closed,
on the government? The government is sending valuable personnel to Disney World in October to do this. It seems to me to be that the government is supporting this heavily to the point that apparently this takes greater, what would you say, priority than protecting those who will guide history.
Yeah.
I find it all tremendously fascinating. If I were Disney, I think what I would do if I were the Disney parks, I think that I would say to the Secret Service, "We love you. We'll bestow upon you next year free Disney vacations. So many of you, but please don't come in October because if something happens and you're here at Disney World, it's going to look really bad for you, and it's going to look really bad for us. So just stick it out this time."
Well, now hold on.
I'm holding.
You're talking about a company that thinks it didn't look really, really bad to do all the other things that they do that look really, really bad. Like, well, a lady died and her husband's suing us. And we've got this weird wrinkle in our thing to watch our TV shows that maybe.
Folks, I'm not laughing because she died. I'm laughing because I know where Lou is going, and it's terrible.
Course,
Continue on, sir. Continue.
But my
Sorry.
point is, as I wrote about, and you graciously quoted me in your Patreon, which is a little plug-ola for his Patreon, by the way. You should all be on it, but because you'll get to read me in the raw. You should pardon the out and equal expression. Rather than saying, this is probably a bad look and we should not do this, after the fact is when Disney discovers bad looks. After the fact is when they realize that telling a family that paid, what was it, 13 grand for a vacation, that a guy in a suit with big hands is the evil queen. After the fact. So don't expect Disney to do anything like that. That's, it just, look, this Out and Equal is a separate outfit. They are, in effect, renting Disney, right? Like other groups do.
Yes.
Putting together a special package deal. So first and foremost, it would be interesting to see how their pricing is from Disney versus other groups without this political aspect. Second of all, the fact that whatever that price is, your tax dollars are paying for it for these people at a time when they are supposedly working so hard that they're up against this barrier to overtime, which, by the way, for the Secret Service of all agencies, should not exist.
I just,
think about that just for a minute. Putting all the rest of this aside, we care so much about protecting our most vital leadership and being equal opportunity about it that at a certain point, right, also timed apparently for the annual quota to hit at the election, we're going to stop paying him. We're going to tell him, keep working the overtime, but you're getting bupkis. Oh, but wait, we found something to give you.
Right, let's create a morale. Yeah.
The whole thing just bad look, bad smell.
Yep. And corruption all throughout. But Lou, I'll tell you this. It's been a historical thing for the past century that when people want to do a protest vote, a write-in protest vote, sometimes they'll write Mickey Mouse on the ballot instead of a candidate's name.
Yeah.
I just never thought, Lou, that the Secret Service would be protecting Mickey Mouse as the election is happening. So
Good point.
Never saw it coming.
Of course, the question is, if they're there in an unofficial capacity, if something happens, will they do anything? I mean, they're still technically federal law enforcement.
Now that you mention it, Lou, the evacuation of the Magic Kingdom the other night, maybe they do need Secret Service at the happiest place on earth. Maybe that would be a benefit.
Well, maybe they need
popping balloons.
Well, when that happened, what my thought was, and I shared it with some of our friends. I said, God, am I just such an old fogey that I remember a time when if you heard a balloon pop, you didn't automatically knee-jerk assume it was somebody with a gun?
Well, Lou, I'll tell you this. We've talked to some people, and I think there's more to this story. We want to get it really right, though, before we are willing to go forward with anything. So we're not there yet. We might not, folks. You might not hear another thing about it, but I just,
that headline,
that story didn't add up.
Secret Service seeks attendees.
Yeah, they're actively trying to get as many as they can to go down. Yeah, absolutely.
So if I'm a Secret Service agent and I am not gay and I have a wife and 3 kids,
you're suddenly going to feel a tingle to be on the.
Can I identify, and do they get to go too?
I think in that case you're going to be very fluid, Lou. Very.
And if
fluid.
they don't get to go, is that prejudicial in Secret Service policy?
Well, then you're going to have to talk to the EEOC, and that's going to be a real dandy of a problem, given the EEOC as of today.
You thought Disney World was a swamp before they put in the Utilidors.
It's a place made for these people. From the swamp to the swamp.
This has so many possible permutations that all I can say is have fun now, because next year,
Well, we shall see how things go, folks. We make no predictions as to how the election will go.
Well, let me ask you just a hypothetical question.
Please.
If 12 months from now, the head of the Secret Service is a guy whose first name is Dan and last name is Bongino, you think they'll make this deal?
I got a feeling that the tickets to Disney to go learn about alphabet representation probably going to come to a stop.
Oh,
probably.
And it says workplace summit. Are they going to have like conferences and seminars? Remember that story about Disney's accountants sending all their young recruits to Disney World for a thing?
That was the auditor. Yeah, the auditor of Disney.
Yeah,
Quid pro quo, perhaps, folks. We make no claim here, but it is fascinating, and I believe, Lou, that it's going to be the monorail resorts where you'll find some of these conferences. So, folks, if you want to join in, go hop in. We're not giving you any kind of judgment one way or the other. We just think perhaps the Secret Service agents, well, they might be needed elsewhere in the month of October. But that's the kind of story, folks, that you will hear basically just here. We want to thank all of those who provided this, the Washington Post, Susan Crabtree, and, of course, Out and Equal, their website, giving us all kinds of info as well. But I don't know that many out there are going to find this stuff unless we bring it to the light. And so we hope this will send this far and wide, because on rare occasion, we do get to comment on topics that have, I think, national implications. And in this case, it certainly does. So maybe this will get the ball rolling in the right direction.
And put aside the politics, put aside the sexual aspects. If they have a limit on overtime to try and cut the budget, but they spend the money on this instead, that not only defeats the budgetary cut purpose for us taxpayers out here put foot in the bill, it hands out, in effect, a grant to this Out and Equal outfit of your money.
That's right.
What did they do to deserve that? And if I was one of the other groups out there, that there's groups doing events for various sub-sectors of the population at Disney all year long, how come they don't get their piece of the pie?
I bet.
Why don't the National Federal Employees Who Collect Stamps group that puts together a week at Disney get a deal? Why don't I
bet the Christian and Jewish workplace summit groups are going to have a hard time getting a spot there by the monorail at the Contemporary. But, we'll see. Folks, ultimately, what are we trying to say here? We really want the Secret Service to protect both sides and everybody who's important to this election race. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We want all of those political events to be safe, totally safe, for either political party that you might support. That is the bottom line.
And Secret Service does other things. Don't they handle counterfeit and firearms and smuggling and all kinds of things? So
sounds like they might need to roll up their sleeves and not.
If I was one of those crooks, I'd be going to Disney World with all the money I'm making, because there aren't many cops on the beat.
Oh, I thought you were going to suggest networking, but okay, I'll go with that too.
There's that too. Out all right, Equal, folks. How about crooked and sequel? I don't know.
All right, folks, we got to wrap it there.
Right.
But I will say, as we get ready to go out, Lou, you have returned to Genre Guys. You all have been recording those again. We had to put a bunch in the hopper because we had different people going different places. But we've had some come out. Chinatown was the latest one, and phenomenal, folks. Check it out. It just came out today. If you're a member of the channel, $1.99 to join and become a member of the channel. But Lou, I want to thank you for that.
And now for something completely different. What we're doing next.
What do you got?
Well, the Schwartz is with us. I'll just say that.
Well, that requires
from Chinatown to Spaceballs in 1 week. Talk about variety, I tell you.
Some of my absolute favorite actors of all time in that movie, though. Truly. All right, folks, you can help be some of our favorite people out there, truly, by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. For a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and waste not yours. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see you real soon. We'll hope you will be here. 3 new videos a day, because thrice is very nice. And until the next time, keep learning, keep growing. As always, keep having fun.
Clickbait. Fraud. Drama queen. Ugh. I wish there was a channel that was 5 to 6 minute news reads without the drama, frauds, and clickbait that could accurately let me know the current news, providing my crucial context utilizing all the different That Park Place contributors and creators.
Well, stupid. There is. It's the That Park Place YouTube channel, which will be going live real soon, so make sure you're subscribed so you could really stick it to the algorithms.
You're joking.
Nope.